Everyone, welcome to the show. I have some pretty illuminating feedback to share with you guys. This is from Trump voters who took part in several focus groups. Before I get into all of that, though, do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button below this video. It is just a tremendous help to get more eyeballs on this information. And this creates a permission structure for disaffected Trump voters who might be reluctant to speak out. So here's the deal. Navigator Research conducted three focus groups. These were all with various Trump voters, 2024 Trump voters who aren't completely sold on his presidency. They included one group of non-college educated women in Pennsylvania. Another group was minority men in North Carolina. And then the third group was a college educated group of men in Michigan. So the moderator asked the group of women how they feel about what Trump has been doing and how his presidency is going so far. Here's what some of them had to say. One said, quote, I know recently he just signed something about if you're behind on student loans, I think it's starting in May. They're going to start garnishing wages. That's going to put a huge hinder on our family coming up. We have no idea how we're going to handle that. The next one said, quote, he needs to focus on the cost of living because the poor are just getting poorer and more homeless. The homeless and the mental health things that he is not addressing because he is going tit for tat, trying to flex with the tariff thing from every other country. Another woman said, quote, disarray. I feel that the country is too divided and there's way too much hatred going on and our economy has just gone to shit. And then one woman told the moderator, quote, I guess whenever I thought he took office, I thought we would maybe see a little bit of change in the economy, that maybe it would get a little bit better. Once you start making decent money, then they take all the help away. And then if you still can't pay something, then you can't get any help at all. So there's just no help for some people out there. And I feel like I'm in that place right now. And this is true. You know, they set these arbitrary amounts like, oh, if you make under this amount and you have less than this amount in the bank or, you know, in like what you own and all of your possessions, then you qualify for this. But as soon as you get one penny above, you're cut off, even though you're still struggling. Anyway, the moderator also asked the women what the differences were that they noticed between Trump's first presidency and his second term. And one woman replied, quote, I think the last 100 days have been overzealous. I think that he had the mindset that he knows what he's doing because he's done this before and isn't open to suggestions and has this bull in a china shop attitude, and it's going everywhere. And I think that's where people are getting confused and feeling like it's wreaking havoc on everybody's daily life. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Another Pennsylvania woman who leans Democratic responded, quote, I feel Trump sugarcoated stuff in his first term to make it seem like he was going to keep doing the same things and help us become better. And I think now that he's back in there, he's saying, ha ha, I tricked you. The female group, by the way, was by far the most negative about Trump, but some of the men were also pretty critical. When asked about the change from Trump 1.0 to 2.0, a man from Michigan who considers himself to be a weak Democrat, not like, oh, I'm so weak, I can't pick this up, or I'm so weak, I won't fight, but like he's not hardcore Democrat is what he means. Anyway, he said, quote, it feels like decisions are being made day by day, that there's no real vision. And it's almost like the administration is reviewing the ratings like it's a TV show to determine whether people like things or not. And then another man told the moderator, quote, I was hoping that he would come in and clean out the garbage out of the government and maybe get some better things and better ideas put in there. I was hopeful in that respect. It has been just worse than I even predicted. They also asked about the tariffs, and most of the participants were positive about them. Surprisingly, a few, though, did express concern. So, for example, one Pennsylvania woman said in part, quote, I just don't see how it's going to help. And then several of the men said that they were worried about prices rising. As for Trump's attacks on our civil rights and our liberties, the majority were completely clueless about the damage that he's doing. So there were a couple of Democratic leaning women who did take issue with his attacks on the press. And then several people questioned Trump's unconstitutional treatment of immigrants. A Michigan man said, quote, we have due process, and due process, when it's denied for one person, it could be denied for everyone. If you can break the Constitution, what's to stop us from being a dictatorship? And a Pennsylvania woman told the moderator in part, quote, we didn't elect him to take people from 15 years ago and take their families and break up their families and just pretty much throw them away. And another woman said, quote, it's way too excessive, especially deporting American citizens. That's not something to even threaten. As a president, I really don't feel that should even come out of your mouth because that's highly illegal and completely unfair. So the good news is very few of these voters approve of Trump ignoring court orders, as he has been doing. There was a Michigan man who considers himself to be a very strong Republican. He told the moderator, quote, his number one oath is to protect the Constitution. That's why we have a Constitution. If we don't have a Constitution, we become China. That's just a fact. And another Michigan man pointed out that defiance of the Supreme Court is an impeachable offense. And then a few expressed regret for Trump for voting for him at all. An independent Michigan man said, quote, I had never voted for a candidate in a long time. I should have voted third party. I just wasted my vote at this point because I'm not happy. I'm scared that we're going to become a dictatorship. I mean, really? So voting for a third party that had no chance of winning, that's not throwing your vote away? Anyway, there was an independent Pennsylvania woman. She told the moderator, quote, as I watch his asinine comments and actions, I just think to myself, did I really vote for this guy? And I really thought it was going to be better. And then another independent female voter said, quote, with the economy, we were probably expecting a little more leniency with him bringing things down, like he promised he was going to help with the economy and promised he was going to help disabled vets and help this and help other people and help homeless people and help. And he's not holding any of those. So I think she means holding any of those promises, keeping those promises. I mean, who would have thought that the guy who has lied to everyone in his entire life, who has cheated on all three of his wives, and just is the most untruthful person to ever hold office in America, who could have ever predicted that he would lie to you, lady? Gosh, that is a shock, isn't it? I mean, it must have just come out of nowhere. Anyway, guys, these people, I swear to God. I'm glad some of them regret. I'm glad some of them, a lot of them are bringing up things that they're not happy about. I hope that they will turn, that they will eventually become regretful, even if they can't admit it publicly, even if they don't have the courage to do so. But yeah, this is where we're at. We just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say with some of these people. And the fact that, most of them are still all gung ho on the tariffs, it's like, really? Like, how much of a bubble do you live in? Where is this rock you're residing under? Because it sounds like a really nice place. I mean, the whole ignorance is bliss thing sounds like a very blissful place that a lot of these people live. Anyway, I will keep you posted. I'll have more for you, I'm sure, with polls and focus groups. I know there's one coming out next week that I'm really looking forward to. So I will have that for you as soon as it hits. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.